Ponder this, my friends. Benzos weakens us in terms of building natural resilience. Let me say that again. Benzos weakens us in terms of building natural resilience. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, when we're on benzos, the drug takes away all the heavy lifting, right? Anytime there's a stressor, God, I got to fly somewhere. I got to drive in heavy traffic, and I've got to go grocery shopping. I got to get this doctor's appointment, or I had an argument with my wife or my husband, or work is stressing me out, or the kids, God, demands a life. And, I've got this medical procedure coming up and I'm worried about it. And whatever the million stressors are, benzos takes care of it, right? For a point of time it did, right? For most of us, many of us, it was like this, there was this honeymoon phase where it was like, the benzo, I'd take my Xanax and the clouds, part and the sun comes back out and the rainbows. But it weakens us in terms of building natural resilience, because natural resilience is built through the process of how we learn to cope and manage all those stressors. If we did, and if we didn't, then we get sick, right? We either get sick or we adapt and we become resilient and we find a way to become better. And so benzos puts a blanket over that. I mean, even if you're messing up in your life, benzos sort of, it takes away the guilt, the shame, the anxiety, right? The fear. And fear is natural. Fear is healthy on some level. There's a voice you get in your body, in the pit of your stomach, that often tells you, like an instinct, that tells you when you're doing something wrong, when it tells you when you're not where maybe you're supposed to be, right? And we take this drug and we just mask it over. We say, shut up, right? and so we never have to address those things. And in some ways, it can make us weaker. It can make us even maybe a lesser person and moral and lesser moral person, right? In some situations, but certainly it weakens us. Now, every once in a while, if you have to fly or you have trouble sleeping or this or that, I think benzos are great for that, right? Every now and then you need just a little extra boost of something. And I think that's the best case scenario for them. But in general, we need adversity. We need, a life that challenges us, because that's how we build resilience. And anything you do at first is going to be tough. But then once you conquer it, once you master that stressor and you figured it out and you build that resilience and you maybe build some skills or something around it that helps you get through that process, maybe it's, your marriage, right? And you're having this difficult time communicating with your spouse, and yeah, it'd be easy. Just grab that Xanax. He or she is stressing me out. God, right? Because then you don't have to have that conversation. You don't have to sit down and talk with them and try to, go through the burden of, how do I reach this person? How do I articulate my emotions? Maybe I'm not good at dealing with my emotions. Maybe I tend to fly off the handle, or maybe I'm the opposite. Maybe I bury everything deep down and I don't want to deal with that kind of thing. Maybe I've gone through things in my life, trauma or stress, victimization, abuse, whatever, right? Or maybe you're really stressed out at your job, and God, it's just easier at the end of the day, either grab the beer, right? That's what most of us do. Grab some alcohol, bring down the stress, or pop the pill. But then we don't have to address anything at work. We don't have to say, do I really want this job? Do I really need this job? Is there somewhere else that I can be, that I should be, that I was meant to be? Or maybe there's something in the work that I need to do. Maybe I need to go down some of my hours, or maybe I need to approach and adjust some factors of work that are really stressing me out that I've been avoiding, right? So benzos, in a way, is like the ultimate avoidance, right? It's pill form avoidance. Just avoid whatever it is. When I was in my early psych program, and I had these classmates, these classmates that would get up and they would do presentations and they would just pop their Xanax. And I remember they would laugh about it. Oh, we got our Xanax, and they would get up there and they would be talking and just high. I mean, you could see them, they had like a buzz and they had a stupid grin on their face, and they thought they were, it gave them this like false confidence, and they were up there just babbling, and even I could see it in the professor's face. It's like, what the hell are these people talking about? And they didn't know that to the rest of us, you don't look like, Stephen Hawkins or some brilliant scientist, delivering some amazing speech up there. You sound like someone that's had a few shots that are up there just babbling, right? But they're so confident. So in a way, benzos gives us this false sense of confidence, right? Because otherwise they'd have to stand up there and they would have to just do like everyone else and suck it up and go, God, public speaking sucks. Public speaking is scary, We're all up there that we're not medicated, looking at the audience and trembling inside, right? But then you get better at it. It's like anything. If you do it enough times and you start to adapt to it, you start to problem solve all these situations for yourself. What is it about public speaking that scares me? Yeah, sure. If I just do it enough times, I'll desensitize to it and I'll get better at it. But also the part of doing it and getting better is what's going to also bring down the anxiety, right? Like we have anxiety on things that we're not good at or we're not familiar at or things that we don't understand or things that we have maybe some hang-ups on, right? But not having the benzo and actually having to endure it, it forces us, to sort of strategize and figure things out and to adapt and to maybe grow some new skills or change something. But either way, we're building a natural resilience. And that's why I say benzos weakens us in terms of building natural resilience. So then, guys, what happens is we come off the benzo and we don't have any of that natural resilience. Now we are overwhelmed. And this is especially true with people that's had a particularly easier life. When I have certain clients that say, man, Dave, I never dealt with any anxiety before. And I had a good childhood. My parents were both married and I was, loved and taken care of. And I had a great wife or a husband and family. And this is new to me. And now suddenly, they've been on benzos for some years. They've always been leaning on it. They never really had adversity. And they're overwhelmed now. They have almost no resilience. They're building it all now from the ground up. Right. And that's a tough place. And then at that rate, even a little bit of benzo, even of what others would have said, this person's going through a mild benzo withdrawal. Well, it's all relative, right? It's all relative to where you are and what you've gone through. So while it may be a small dose for a short period of time and to other people in the community might look like nothing, to that person that didn't have all that natural resilience, it's incredible. It's really incredible. Just as someone with a ton of natural resilience, some of you guys are stronger than hell. You can muscle through all kinds of incredible situations regarding benzos. I've seen people muscle through 10, 20 years of higher dose benzo dependence, and they muscle their way through it and make a full recovery. And you go, man, that's like the one-armed guy that's climbing Mount Everest without no harness, right? But this person's been climbing mountains since they were probably a kid. Right, so it's all relative in that regard, but my emphasis is on this sort of lesser obvious feature of benzos, which is that it weakens us in terms of building natural resilience, and the importance is actually to build that natural resilience. So as you're coming off of benzos, keep that in mind. If you're post benzos and you've already come off of it, and you're going through a tough time right now, look at it for what it is. Don't look at it as just, oh, I'm sitting here festering and diseased. That's not true. What you're doing right now is it's like bodybuilding. You're building up something. You're in the process of strengthening. Only it's understood in bodybuilding, right? We go and we work out. We purposely work out so hard that we break muscles down. And we go home and we sleep and we wake up the next day and our body aches and feels like someone threw us out of a moving car. But to the bodybuilder, they smile at this. They go, oh, that's good. That's good, because when you break a muscle fiber, it comes back twofold. It comes back stronger, thicker, right? And so they know that process. Nobody wakes up the next day and goes, what the hell happened to me? I got to quit this bodybuilding. I'm bruised. I'm injured. I feel awful. I must be doing damage. There's an acknowledgement that, like, no, this is, pain is growth. And in some regards, not all, I understand benzos it's not quite bodybuilding, right? It does a lot of damage to us at the same time, and it has a lot of different variables. But I mean the recovery process, that when you feel these flare-ups, as I call them, not setbacks, but as you start to feel these flare-ups, these increase of stressors, and you're, maybe you've got a doctor's appointment coming up, and you're like, God, I barely slept last night. My symptoms are ringing. My ears are ringing. and I'm feeling it. But yeah, you know what? This is the test. This is the process. You're breaking down muscle right now. And it's all about how you handle it. You know, how you handle it. How well can you handle it? And you're not expected to be a champion. You're not expected to come off benzos and just endure life, right? You're expected to get battered a bit. But in the process, guys, what I'm talking about is how to change your perception to look at it and say, this is a process of healing. And what I'm doing, this is a process of actually becoming more resilient. I'm building that natural resilience again. You know, it's like learning to walk on your leg after a double knee replacement surgery, right? Like you got some crutches, or say a single knee replacement surgery. At first, it's gonna hurt. You're not gonna walk very well. You're gonna need a crutch. But damn, is it necessary, guys? Damn, is it necessary? And as long as you know that if you keep doing that, that is the process of healing, and that's expected and natural and normal and what you need to do, you don't have to fear it so much, right? And if you can remove the fear from the recovery, my friends, I promise you, you will speed up and facilitate your recovery tenfold. All right, my friends. Always enjoy speaking with you guys and reading your comments. I appreciate your support. And remember, you're healing. Yes, yes, yes. You are healing. Talk to you soon.